tradition, culture, identity, heritage.
We're part of a new research group at the school called Audience, Experience and Engagement. This is a new research group alongside a number of other colleagues and also PhD students that's really interested specifically in taking a kind of interdisciplinary approach to how audiences engage with and are engaged by theatre, performance and the arts. I think what we're particularly interested in is this notion of that there's some kind of dialogic relationship between people who view or experience artwork in whatever way it is and the artwork itself. And that's something that kind of historically there's always been a feeling that the artwork doesn't just exist in the artwork. It exists in the relationship between the artwork and the person who somehow experiences or views it. So that's where we're kind of coming from. But I think what we're really interested in this new research group is that kind of relationship, or that dialogical relationship, is being made much more explicit in the kinds of artwork that we see today. What we're trying to do is look at ways, different kinds of research methods that we can use that might start to begin to identify ways in which that experience and engagement might happen.
That sort of thinking about the creativity of audiences and using creative methods to try and understand what that experience has done for them is something I'm interested in pursuing.
So I think that we're approaching this project with a couple of questions in mind, potentially three. The first one is we're thinking about what do people experience? The second one is what do they value about that experience? And thirdly, and specifically in relation to SAA-uk, is what might be the specific cultural impact of that experience.
I think that was the thing. It was about just getting to know, because for me, entering into this space, you know, when I talked about SAA-uk having been on its journey, and we are now, like, you know, so many years on, and having decided what our strands of work was, I think we're, as an organisation, we're actually in that place where we want to measure our impact. What difference is it making?
We did use the event of this concert, Sacred Sounds, which was in here last Wednesday. We used that as a way of kind of getting a bit deeper and doing something together.
Letters from men writing home about the statistics involved in the number of lives that were actually given. So it was really trying to make sure that narrative, and I suppose what we were trying to do was, could we touch the hearts of people and could they understand what we were trying to communicate to them? And that was our challenge in the producing of it. And I suppose you two, when you asked the questions, you found out.
And we understood quite quickly this notion about how people were obviously motivated to come to find out more about this period of history, which not everybody there knew too much about in detail, but then struck by how emotional they found the evening, and we were trying to unpick why that was, and the various contributions of not just the music and the content of the letters, but also the way that Kieran had produced that evening. It's led to us to be able to think more clearly about things we would do in the future.
I think the main thing is going to be very much the sort of next step from here will be looking at what we've got going to have going as an organisation, what there is, sharing that back with the team, and then looking at what are the specific ones we want to pick, and you know, and really agreeing, continuing the dialogue that we started, I suppose, and see how we go from there.
So for us, it's a really exciting space where we can start to try out different kinds of methods around without that kind of added impulse of making.
The experience of the labs has allowed me to think not so much about an end result, funnily enough, just conversation, organic development, and thinking about the whole idea of research. Is it a really more critical inquiry about our work so that it'll shape it better in the future?
I think what I've enjoyed most is the lack of pressure on producing an output, which is something that, you know, we're pressurised constantly as academics to have outputs. I think for me, just having that joyous feeling that if nothing happens, and it's fine. We've got lots of ideas that we might put into action over the next
over the next couple of years. I mean, we're thinking of potential, projects over time around gathering audience data, audience experience, etc. Looking at different kind of creative methods of working with SAA-UK's audience, thinking about engaging with workshops that they run, looking at working across generations as well. So I'd be particularly interested in working with the children that are involved in SAA-UK.
Yeah, and I think also we can see some real opportunities in terms of the interdisciplinary ambition of our research group, the audience engagement and experience group.
But what we're going to do is I'm just going to share what the artistic programme is going to be coming, what the business plan has in it. We've shared the communication and engagement strategy already with the partners, and from that really have a look at what is that long-term piece of research that we could be doing.